find comfort in my pain. Razor. What up, guys? All right, so today, unlike yesterday where we took a glimpse at Merlin from the overview, we are actually having him in game right now to be able to play. PTS is live for those who are interested, and I'm going to be running through one of my traditional types of videos where I go through the basically first impressions overview of a god and how they feel in Smite. Merlin is the 100th god in Smite, and he has a very important mechanic that if you are a high skill cap player, you like high ceiling, things that you can delve and put your time into, Merlin probably is going to fit that build because he has 3 distinct stances with 2 different abilities in each stance. So overall, it's quite complicated. The cool thing is that his movement ability stays the same. It's a short blink. That's not something you have to worry too much about, but all the other abilities, there's a lot to think, a lot to combo, and probably there's never an opportunity where you completely min-max something perfectly, because there's always room for improvement with how much he has to do. Let's take a look at kind of how it operates. The way they showed it first was really great. They showed the 3 and then they talked about that first. So the 3 is his blink. This is the blink. It's a short 20-second cooldown blink. Quite a long time. You can get that down to 18 seconds, but it's a 22-second cooldown at base. To me, that's kind of a lot, but once you get into your items, once you get that rolling and you level this up, it's not going to feel as bad. They showed it with Chronos Pendant, and it does feel like you're still able to move around. But what it means is that you have this quick displacement, but you got to use it well. You got to use it well. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck 20 seconds without being able to move any farther than that. As you notice, I really only kind of went from here to like here. That's not a lot of distance. Let's just put it that way. I like quick cast, by the way, if anyone wants to know my play style. So his number 1, we are in Arcane stance right now. And what Merlin will do is he will be able to press 4 and change stances. Now, there's a couple ways you can change stances, but it's a 26-second stance switch at this point. I believe 28 seconds for the very beginning, so quite a long time. The Elemental Mastery is really where Merlin gets his shtick. He's a mage, and he can tap into his inner potential, exploding with energy in the stance he's currently in. During this time, he can choose which stance to enter to next. If you don't choose, you'll just go from Arcane to Frost to, I believe, Fire to Arcane, then back to Frost. I think that's how it'll work, but it just goes in order unless you choose. They said it would take a little bit of time to choose. I'm going to try to choose right now. I want to go to... Yeah, not bad. So it takes a little bit of time. You just have to press 4-1 or 4-2 or 4-3. Basically, a little bit of like a different targeter right here comes up, and you decide which stance to be in. So we're in our Arcane stance. Let's take a look at that in a second, because when you activate your first point into your number 1, you upgrade it, you'll notice that your changing stance isn't the only thing that happens. Taint Beer, glad to be back in Smite as well, man. Season 6, maybe this is the patch Rain Day gets back into Smite. It's very possible. It's very possible. Fresh, new beginnings. So when you have a point into it, you'll notice it does this. It explodes. So it explodes outwardly and inwardly, very much like a Soul Stellar Burst. What that means is that you're going to do different effects for each stance that you're in and the stance that you switch to. So the Arcane is going to knock up no matter what, whether it's out or in, it's going to knock up. Fire will do burning damage no matter out or in, and also, that's my alarm running. And then it'll also be Frost will slow, which is great. So a lot of cool different things. So that's another aspect of what you need to do. Let's start with the, I believe, Fire stance. Start with the Frost stance, because Frost is pretty fun. So Frost is basically his long-range stance. This is where you think of like, oh, I'm a mage. All the weapon attacks look very similar. They're not different in terms of the effect, although they have different visuals. So they don't look similar, but they have a similar effect. As you notice, when I use an ability, I had a little bit of damage on top of it. It's a mini Polynomicon. So whenever you use an ability, let's take a look at his first, which is his longest range ability, a Frostbolt, essentially, that explodes in an AoE around him. My next basic attack, boom, it'll have that little 11 next to it. Now watch my next basic attack, doesn't have it. So it stacks up to 3 times based on using 3 abilities. Use our Frostbolt again, and now I have it on my 1 basic attack, to my 3rd. I don't know how many abilities I use. Boom, none. All right, so that's cool. His 2, which I heard was bugged, but I'm not sure if it is. It's just a blizzard. It's an increasingly slowing blizzard that then will allow you to do bonus damage on your Frostbolt, which is pretty cool because essentially it's another combo that he's going to be able to take advantage of. Good Merlins will be able to show they're great by really planning out this blizzard, stacking some of that extra slow, and then being able to do more damage with that Frostbolt and take advantage of it. blink away, and now I'm done with my Frost. So let's go to Arcane. Now we switched to Arcane, we pressed 4-1, we went straight from Frost to Arcane, and now we are in the knock-up phase. So we just knocked him up, and our number 1 here is going to do a little bit of pain. It's a vortex, an expanding vortex that when it hits anybody, does increasing damage over time to them as long as they stay in that radius. It's got a pretty low cooldown. I'd say 14 seconds is pretty low for a mage like this, especially when you start getting into Chronos Pendant and things like that. Clumsy, hey, what's up, buddy? Take it easy, man. I'm really excited to be checking out Merlin, my man. I'm excited. I'm excited. You did a great job. So this is obviously going to be touching into the gods who it expands to. But the question is, you know, does it, if it hits multiple, always hit those gods that it touches once it stops and expands into that vortex? No. It has to, you have to do it so that these 2 gods that get hit stay within the vortex. This guy didn't get hit, so he actually doesn't take that damage over time, even though he's within the radius. So very important, you have to do the hitting first, and you have to keep them in the circle. Now, one way you can do that to keep them in the circle is something like this. Say he maybe starts to go out, you throw your 2. Your 2 actually is a detonation of a bomb after a delay that then brings people towards the center of the bomb, the epicenter of where the bomb originated. Pretty cool stuff, which means you could do cool combos like, let's see, what is it? Energy? No. No cooldown? Okay, so let's try this. So you can do stuff like this. And you can bring them in. They both get hit. Now, I actually believe... Let's see. I don't think that's working. What's the... That's not it. I'm messing up. What's up, Switchy? So, pretty cool stuff. So, you can basically just... Then we're going to look at it with some items, and then we're going to talk about maybe some ways you might want to be looking at Merlin to play and kind of how he's going to be operating around the battlefield. But if you guys obviously have any... Go to fire. All right, 4-2. Now, here we are in fire. Now, the coolest part about fire to me was the amount of just pure raw damage they're trying to... And, you know, as a simple Philistine like myself, I kind of like that. You know, so we'll reset our cooldowns. Number 1, you're just out there grinding. It also applies a burn, like we mentioned. Here's the damage numbers right here, and the burn damage as well. This scales up pretty well, is what I was told. So this is kind of like AoE control mage, while also having some single target mage damaging abilities that really hurt opponents who aren't careful of where he is in the battlefield. All right, yeah, it wasn't letting me blink for whatever reason. That was weird. All right, now in the middle of this, which is great, you'll see that there's protection shred. This hits every 0.25 seconds, and I believe each tick takes 2.5% protection reduction. So I guess you could do it 4 times every second. They last for 3 seconds, so 4, 8, 12. So you have quite a bit of potential protection reduction, maybe max, and we haven't even gotten any items yet. Pretty exciting, pretty fun, and sooner or later you're going to realize that, okay, now I know exactly where everything is. I've got all my you know, something like some Shoes of Magi, obviously, grabbing some damage. Let me go actually into where we might be able to grab that here. And then we'll grab Chronos Pendant, which is going to be extremely important. I want to show you how the cooldowns work. Actually, let's run, instead of Shoes of Magi, let's run some cooldown shoes so we can see a little bit of that. Let's run Spears so we get max cooldown. Run a little bit of, let's get a little lifesteal in there. Let's run some Bang Cross, high damage item. And then let's run one of my favorites that I think is going to be interesting with him. Scaling too for Arcade, 350. So strong scaling here on his number 1s. You're going to see a ton of damage being able to be displayed here. So you're going to throw that down, 466, 470 each. Let's see what these base get to. Oh, 115 extra. That's a ton of extra damage. Holy moly. And now let's switch stances here into fire. 287. Yeah, I have 2,070 health right now. So that amount, like, this is going to just instantly kill somebody. Oh my goodness. Plus you're getting these... That was like the highest in like 1 bit of burst damage that I've seen him be able to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys something differently. 570 still. It doesn't look like I'm gaining any damage on the slow. 20% damage if they are slowed. It doesn't feel like that's proccing, so maybe it's because it's not slowing, or because I'm still getting 570, right? Or maybe it's the 104. Maybe they're not slow. Let's see. No, I'm still getting... Huh. Interesting. I don't know what that... Okay, there it is. Yeah, okay, so 483 is actually... They were slowed initially, I believe. Frostbolt does, I believe... Doesn't apply as slow. So I'm curious why those numbers keep changing. 96 to 43. Somebody's going to know. Maybe it is slowing. I'm not sure. Either way, this is a very, very concrete look at what Merlin's kit will do. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Super excited to be playing this guy, and you can see I'm only a few seconds in. I've already got another ability back, and now I've got the ability to switch into fire. I throw those guys down. Boom, we are just burning my target. I've got a little bit of, 5 seconds now to be waiting. I've used a lot of mana, that's for sure, but now, again, I only have a few seconds left. Throw the blizzard down. I got a blink as well, and 7 seconds before my next, my next stance switch. 7 seconds right now before my next blink. Merlin looks like he's going to be absolutely A-okay. Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited to experiment with some builds here in some games.